Healing Staff to Wellness. I'm Dr. J,
And I am May.
your trusted guide to whole person health, one step
And one bite
at a
at a
time.
time.
Welcome to Healing Staff to Wellness with May and Dr. J, a space rooted in science, guided by compassion. This podcast explores how lifestyle medicine empowers individuals and communities to thrive. Through meaningful conversations with experts and change makers, we share practical tools, inspiring stories, and healing insights to help guide a culture of wellness. One step and one bite
At
at a
a
time.
time. Okay, we need to polish more. All right. It's Friday. I know you are thinking about something else. All right, but cannot be more excited than having Craig at our podcast today. Craig is our long-term friend, especially on the whole food plant-based nutrition movement advocate, and we team up together to we're working on several projects together. So Craig Pettigrew is a passionate advocate for whole food, plant-based nutrition, and his personal health transformation led to the mission of his multiple sclerosis, MS, unlike many others who combine dietary changes and also rely on some healthy lifestyle, be able to put his MS into remission. And he continued to make his positive influence to many support groups and local building healthy community group to inspire people and help them on this health journey. So with that said, I'm here to welcome Craig, and please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Craig Pettigrew. I've had multiple sclerosis for quite some time, and during that time, I read about, whole food plant-based lifestyle and how that could actually help the disease. And I decided, heck, I'll give it a try. I'll dive full into it and try to reverse as much as I can.
Mhm. So when was that? How long ago it happened?
Well, it's odd because it came on, my first exacerbation happened when I was in graduate school in 1995.
Okay.
And during that time, I would bike to graduate school. I'd start my day with a bike ride 2 miles to school, and then work all day, and then bike home. And wound up that particular day, had numbness and tingling in my leg.
Oh.
And I was like, this isn't right.
Mm.
And I was working on stage, loading in a set, and was like trying to walk around on a raked platform. And the numbness and tingling got so bad that I told my advisor, I want to go to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And he allowed me to go. I went and they said, you might have MS. But it took a
Oh.
couple days to figure all that out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there were a lot of things that wound up happening that made me very concerned, because not only that was numbness and tingling that it started with, but then the nurse was like, your body temperature is like 95 degrees. Go home and warm up and take the rest of the day off. And when I went home, I took a warm bath, went and laid down, and then I felt ill, got up and vomited. And then the next day I woke up and my eyes would drift upward. I couldn't look at anything to see what I was doing. And that terrified me. And I was like, what the heck is going on? But at that time, I did not make the nutrition connection.
Mm-hmm.
And it took like 16 years before I actually made that connection and was like, what the heck?
Okay.
So in that 16 years, would you mind describing your symptoms from the beginning that you just found? what was the progression in that 16
Mm-hmm.
years?
Well, periodically I'd be at work and I'd have a weird numbness in my hands or arms or legs, and it would bother me. I'd think about it. I spent a lot of time on uh what is that? I'd hop online and look it up and do some research on it. Of course, the internet was new at this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I was like, not quite trusting it, but it would say, well, possible causes for what's going on, and it would list three things, and MS was always in the top three.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, please don't let this be MS. I didn't want that.
Mm-hmm.
So for you mentioned about you found the whole food plant-based nutrition, you switch. So could you share, did you just go cold turkey or you gradually putting in the whole food plant-based nutrition and what that whole food plant-based nutrition looks like?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I took my time on it because I was so addicted to meat
Mm-hmm.
at the time. So I was eating meat pretty much at every meal
Mm-hmm.
and kind of addicted to it. And I was like, okay, how can I do this? So I started looking at processed meat substitutes and started eating those in place of meat. And then over time, I gradually woke up to the fact that these are not that healthy. I've got to completely get off them as well. So it's sort of I I I spent 2 years trying to get off meat, got off meat, got onto meat substitutes, and then it took about a year to a year and a half to get off meat substitutes.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to do it over again, I would have gone cold turkey. Because
Wow.
knowing what I know now, I'm like,
Uh-huh.
that's the
Uh-huh.
way to do it right there.
Uh-huh. Wow. So, um, well, kind of it's kind of interesting transition, but I kind of curious about like what was the treatment look like before you hop on the plant-based nutrition?
Oh, this is a kind of a difficult one for me because I've gotten in a lot of trouble with with that neurologist because
Mm,
he
mm.
actually threatened to sue me for what I was saying and stuff.
Oh,
Okay.
And I didn't
okay.
like that.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
don't really want to like put anything out there that he can come back and
Mm.
No, what I
try
mean
to
is
nab.
did you take a lot of medications? Is that very traditional treatment method?
Yes, it was a very
Okay.
traditional method.
Okay. Did that give you any side effect?
It gave me a lot of different side effects. I
And
mean, it
what is the most common side effect that does how that affect your life?
um well they were always like take the medication before you go to bed
Okay.
Mm.
and you'll sleep through the symptoms. But
Mm.
the symptoms were so severe that they kept me up all night. And I remember
Oh.
laying there in the bed, just sort of staring at the ceiling all night long.
Oh.
Mm.
And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, this is not a comfortable way of
Mm,
life.
mm, mm, mm. Yeah, because you didn't get a good rest.
Right.
You didn't good rest. Yeah. I wonder that how that could be very tough for you to manage your work.
Hmm.
And at a time were you still at a graduate school?
At this time, I was here in Minneapolis. I had finished graduate school.
Okay.
I had a full-time career and everything, and
Wow.
was doing a lot of work and working a lot of
Yeah.
um, well, we were trying to catch up at work on work. We were
Mm-hmm.
behind schedule in our
Mm-hmm.
shop, and
Mm-hmm.
we were down a number of draftsmen and stuff, and I was trying to fill in and help them catch up with
Mm-hmm.
things,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Mm-hmm.
not an easy job to do when you're
Yeah.
down people.
Yeah, they are that kind of a that's pretty stressful. So,
Hmm.
so then when you stumble into the whole food plant-based nutrition, and at the time, I have to credit you, you found the plant-based nutrition, but you didn't know exactly how that actually, I mean, all what you learned right now, as you mentioned. So you had a learning curve adjusting from the meat to vegetable. How do you, without all this information that got what, with easy access right now, how did you have that confidence, say, this is the right path for me? I think I'm curious about it.
That's a good question because I'm not sure how I came up with the confidence for that. It's just I remember eating at restaurants. Let's see, I remember going to Seed Cafe and getting a
Uh-huh.
breakfast there, and they had a really good breakfast. And I looked
Oh,
at everything that was in the breakfast and thought, I bet I can make this breakfast myself.
okay.
So I just sort of took a mental note of everything that was in the breakfast
Yeah.
and copied it. And
Yeah.
that's been my breakfast ever since.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm also wondering, did anyone in your medical team mention consulted with you about lifestyle, nutrition, like that? And when you do the transition to the whole food plant-based nutrition, did you get any help, any guidance from your
Mhm.
medical team?
No, none at all. It's, they don't quite understand it. I'm trying to put something together for my current neurologist because he's like, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, it's working. So
Oh,
keep doing it.
oh, great.
And I
Great.
was like, maybe I should put together a list of everything I've done
Yeah.
and email that to him or put that in
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
uh
Medical record.
yeah, put it in my medical record or
Mm-hmm.
in my
Mm-hmm.
file and all.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you this is show me that you are quite yourself's health advocate, because you know how you feel, and that gut feeling again, that made you drive you say, I think this is the right path, and and you enjoy the food, you replicate, and it become your what's that called, the stable for your breakfast. And so, wow, that's amazing.
And I
That's
think it's very
amazing.
important that Craig has the sense of yourself. You know your body, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't accept the conventional way. Say, I have this condition, and this is what I'm going to get. It's going
Mm-hmm.
to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
There's no treatment, and that's what I will end up with.
Yeah.
And you want to
Hmm.
divide it because you want to fight for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And they remind a lot of people when we talk to patients, say, "Oh, you have diabetes," and they say, "Okay, I'm going to get it worse and worse until I put an insulin, until
Mm-hmm.
I end up maybe losing the food or anything." So I think that's maybe that's the reason why you devote a lot of time into your community engagement to
Mm-hmm.
do the advocacy. Can you tell us a little bit about your community engagement?
Mm-hmm.
Community engagement. You look back at what I wrote down.
Well,
I
basically,
mean,
basically
I
that
try to
what you
help out.
do. Yeah, go
What's
ahead.
that?
You try to help out.
I try to do what I can to help out and
Mm-hmm.
tell people that, you can actually change the course of your disease.
Yeah.
You don't need a doctor to necessarily tell you what to be doing because you are the one that knows more about your body than
Right.
anyone else.
Right.
So
Right.
I still hope that anyone make this decision, they still have their doctors uh, guide them through as their quarterback to look out after
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. I mean,
Right.
that's really
Right.
important.
Right. Yeah. So how about your family support?
They don't quite understand what I'm doing and didn't really quite care for it because they were like, they're totally convinced that you need to eat meat to be healthy.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I've tried to convince them to, change their diet. Unfortunately, my mom passed away a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
My dad is still living. He's like 94.
Wow.
He's still moving along. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing great.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for you to move along this journey, what is the Can you think of who is your biggest support to kind contribute to um, your journey on top of your own determination?
I have to say my wife is my biggest support
Oh,
because she wound up learning to cook and learning to
oh,
cook all the food, all whole food, plant-based,
mm-hmm,
and makes meals for me that I can prepare quickly and easily for myself.
mm-hmm,
Um, and is helping me learn to cook as well. So
mm-hmm,
I like that. We're a team. We try to help each other out as best we can.
mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
was so relieved you picked the right answer. But it's interesting you talk about mention your wife, and I think professionally you two work together also, right?
That is correct. We hired at Tacoma Actors Guild our first job out of graduate school. She was a costume shop manager. I was the technical director. She built the costumes. I built the scenery.
Wow. Wow. Well, as Dr. J always say, okay, can you help me to fly over the stage?
It's April, not April. We're still a few months away.
Oh.
I,
So, yeah,
I
go
really
ahead.
want I know that the family life is very important and you
Mhm.
have the support from your wife and get into this whole food plant-based nutrition. But I really feel that you have a lot impact on the community. So I really want to go back to the community to see what
Okay.
you do, community engagement, and also your leadership in the building healthy community.
Right. Well, let's see.
Like, normally, do you have a routine like every month? What do you do in your community? Do you have a meetup? Do you
We
have
have
something?
meetups like pretty much monthly where we have little meetups where we'll bring in speakers, doctors and stuff. We'll speak.
Mm, I see.
We'll do potlucks where we bring in food
Mm,
and share food with people.
yeah,
And that's all great because it's
yeah,
helping the community see that food is what actually causes health or
right,
sickness.
right.
So,
Yeah, especially from your first breakfast, like you got that breakfast become your game changer. So
mhm,
the food truly connect people, and that's why I think we can talk about the great recipe, but until you put that, somebody tried that first bite,
mhm,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Especially when you
right.
tell people about plant-based nutrition, I think they have two things will come up. Number one, how could I get protein, something to substitute meat for me to get protein? And number two is, are you eating 3 bars only? Right? So when you have that potluck, you have all the delicious food, all varieties of food, and for people to try and say, wow, it's not bad. Not only I could accept it, it's actually delicious. And
Right.
that's another reason man and I will have the monthly education activities. Every time we have food out because we need that for people to say, yes, it
Mhm,
is acceptable. I can live with that.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. The first bite. So, well, speaking of the community engagement, I also saw you um, at the health fair, such as Twin Cities Veggie Fest,
Mhm.
almost every year. So how you help people when they are like on a fence, they don't know what to do, how you relate to them with your personal story, kind of be a great influencer.
I think the story is the biggest influencer because you can't argue with that one really because it's like, hey, this has helped me phenomenally. I mean, I can get
Mm-hmm.
out, I can do a lot of moving
Mm,
around that I used to not be able to do.
mm-hmm.
And I think I move fairly well.
Mm-hmm. So beside the nutrition, you're talking about eating the plant-based and then took you 2 years to stick with the plant-based.
Mhm.
How you feel at that point when you did a full switch? Can you share with us about the big change that made you feel like this is you quote like a phenomenal?
I wasn't like, I had a lot more energy after I did that. And I
Energy.
was like, this is phenomenal because the energy is, I mean, we're all energy. That's all we are.
Right?
And we have to eat and take in food to
Right.
help us out. And,
Right.
you know, if you feel alive and feel like getting out and doing something,
Mm-hmm.
that's a huge thing. And
Right.
when I was on disease modifying therapy, that did not make me feel well. I had no
Mm-hmm.
energy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, energy. And beside nutrition, do you also do anything on a regular basis to help you feel happier and thrive?
I go for walks. I take
Mm-hmm.
care of dogs. I'm basically a dog sitter now and take care of dogs. Got one right now. A deaf dog actually,
Oh.
which is hard. So I'm an assistant human. Um, or actually, no, she's not deaf. She's blind.
Oh, she's blind.
Yeah. So I'm sort of a seeing eye human or an assist human, as they said at our meeting last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, but I go out for walks. I go for a lot of bike rides and stuff, and
Mm.
I love
Mm.
riding my bicycle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and when I was down in Rochester this last year, when I came back, Teresa and I came back with Eddie Ramirez and drove him back to where he was going.
Mm-hmm.
And he and I were chatting in the back seat of the car, and I said, I told him about, the fact that I've been wanting to ride my unicycle again. And he was like, wow, that would be amazing. And when I got home, I hopped on the unicycle and I rode it
Wow.
and I videoed it. It's on Facebook, but I rode it around a little bit. I mean, it's not a great video, but it's just me riding around and then back. I did wind up falling and having a crash there, but that's part of riding. I forgot that a unicycle, you have an intermittent power stroke. So
Mm-hmm.
your power as you're pressing down and power as you're pressing down, and in
Mm-hmm.
between, you're not in power. So if you have to go over a bump or something, you might fall.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
So,
falling is part of learning. So
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely. So when you talk to the community engagement, and in the community, people want to hear your experience, but they always say,
Mm-hmm.
how long does it take? How
Mm-hmm.
long would it take for me to feel better? So
Mm-hmm.
what's your experience?
Yeah.
I think if if you went ahead and did it cold turkey, you'd probably feel better within a week or two.
Mm.
But it took on the way I did it, it wound up taking a couple of years. So
Mm.
I think that's based on who you are and how much you put into it.
Mm-hmm. I see. So, um, beside the community engagement in the public, how you help people in in a specific support group that you engage with? Like, do you have? I remember once you told me that you had like a MS in support group, and are you still uh, helping with that group?
I do go to the group. Last time I went was it's I'm sorry, it's not an easy thing because they're
Mm-hmm.
like all like, hey, MS is individual, it's going to affect everybody differently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And even though I'm like walking around in the parking lot before anybody arrives doing
Mm-hmm.
laps,
Mm-hmm.
and parking like as far from the door as I possibly can so I can
Oh,
walk as far as I can.
yeah.
Um, they don't quite get it. They're just all like, hey, but I've talked with them that you can do this, but I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of frustrated because I wound up, I'm kind of feel like I'm in a fight with some of the members in the group because they brought in a doctor. One of the ladies found a doctor
Mm,
that she said can cure MS, and he came in and he was a carnivore. He he talked about the carnivore diet and how good that was. And I was like, I didn't speak up against it, and I should have, because I could have totally toasted what he had to say. But I didn't have my ducks in a row to be able to do that.
mhm. Yeah, that's kind of typical you because you have to be very considerate about how people feel, and then you have to be very thoughtful on the comment that you made, especially in front of a physician. But I think
Hmm.
we respect everybody's choice of their treatment, whether it's medication or any, the treatment from advice from their physician. But it will not go wrong if we truly nourish ourselves with the food that eventually will love us back. I think that is the message we are trying to get out right here is do our homework. We make sure that we're very conscious about what we put in. What would that do to our body? Everybody has a different recovery journey, or everybody has a different response. Um, it's better than doing nothing.
Well, I do think that it may not be a bad idea for you to start a different support group. I remember years ago there was research saying that the worst thing you could do was to join a support group, because people were not there to support you. They were there to talk about their expectation, which was conventional. Say, oh, it's going downhill, and now I'm getting worse, and now this is what I'm going to do next. I'm going to get a walker, whatsoever. So it is the very negative sharing.
Right.
So it might work for you to have a different support group with a different theme, and to share the positive results of you what you have been doing. Maybe start with 1, 2 people to begin with. It might
Hmm.
worth a try.
Right.
Yeah.
I think uh, I feel like I have made some steps with one or two people in the group,
Mm.
but not, I don't know.
Are you able to give us an example that someone really made a change because of your help, a case?
I'd love to be able to do that, but I have not witnessed that myself.
And you know what? You probably have not heard that. Remember, Craig, you actually attended our Lotus Health Foundation Community of Wellness Symposium
Hmm.
several years way back. So I remember during one conference like a couple years ago, you stood up to be to testimony for yourself,
Hmm.
your health transformation, and actually many audience they truly comment that they were so encouraged to hear the story like you, and also plus the other volunteer who had their health transformation. It's just maybe you have done a lot of great influence, but you have not heard feedback. We should help you to bring those messages back to you.
Okay.
Yeah. So, um, so your story also inspired me, as you know, as what I mentioned earlier, that you need to be very brave, strong to determine the right path for you, especially under the environment that the internet information was not that popular.
Mm.
Also, one thing is, I also noticed that you are very knowledgeable about who are the most, we'll say that respectable lifestyle medicine physician and advocate in the nation, like Dr. Neil Barnard
Yeah.
and Dr. Asselstein.
Yeah.
You know a lot of them, which comparing to some healthcare providers, they may not have heard their name yet. So just from that point, I feel like you pack yourself with wealth of knowledge, allow you to even become more confident on your journey and be able to transform yourself to help other people. So this is what I see. It's a remarkable action, and you have the passion. Show it to the public wherever you go. So, way to go,
Okay.
Craig.
Okay.
And,
Thank you.
and I really want to resonate with what Greg is passionate about, whole food, plant-based nutrition for disease management. And
Mhm.
so some people may know that I am one of the 2% population who are born with high cholesterol. Now, I've been taking cholesterol medication since my 20s. It's cholesterol. No, to a lot of people say, oh, it's genetic. I'm the one who can say genetic. No, 98% people taking statin, they are not genetic. No.
Mhm.
Secondly is, I also have very strong diabetes genes. Now, my mom and one of my sisters die of diabetic complications. Now, I have trouble controlling my A1C, even my fasting glucose is in the 70s and 80s. And then, so a lot of people say, oh, it's genetic, and they just give up and just wait for taking the medication, going on insulin, like that. But to me, I feel like I'm doing a good fight because people traditional with high cholesterol, familial high cholesterol, they will have their first heart attack at the age of 39. So I am way past that 39, and my heart is still okay. So
That's
that
good.
mean. No, don't just believe in the traditional, conventional way of the disease progression. Now, we can take control of our own health. We just need to define it and think what's best for us and give it a try.
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah.
Right.
I believe plant-based nutrition, one big advantage is you have way too many selections over carnivore diet. There are
Mhm.
so
Yes.
many plants you can pick and choose. So even though regardless of outcome, you can enjoy food a lot better.
Right. Well, speaking of a food, Craig, what is your favorite food and the favorite dish?
Oh,
Like
there's
when you
so
wake
many
up,
because there's
yeah, there's so many. So how about you tell us your routine when you wake up in the morning? What is your typical breakfast and what is your typical lunch? And how about supper?
my breakfast is usually oatmeal,
Yep.
which is more than just oatmeal. It's
Mm-hmm.
oatmeal, an apple, a
Wow.
banana,
Uh-huh.
walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, um, grapes, kiwi. Uh,
It's loaded.
it's absolutely loaded. And if you want a different breakfast, just switch out different fruit. And and that can power me till like 3 in the afternoon. I'll eat it at like
Oh,
7, and it'll power
wow.
me till 3 in the afternoon. I can go for a 50-mile bike ride
Uh-huh.
and get home and be like, still have a little bit of energy left, got enough to
Ah,
make lunch.
wow. Do you drink coffee?
I do not drink coffee.
Well, look at that. That is better than coffee.
I drink water and I drink tea.
Wow. What kind of tea?
I drink green tea, but only like one to maybe 2 cups in the morning, and that's it.
Wow. Well, you pretty much follow the advice from the well-known health experts, especially lifestyle medicine experts. So tea, yes, especially for brain health. We just talked about that
Mm.
this morning at a show. So, well, and then so that help you give you the energy until 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So then what does the next meal look like?
Lunch, lunch, I've been doing a lot lately, has been like tofu BLTs.
Hmm.
I have a nice a nice habanero jam that I put on the things, which is really good.
So you like spicy
Habanero
food.
jam. Ooh.
The spicy, it's not as spicy as you think. It
Okay.
actually is really, it's kind of mild and it's really, really tasty.
Did you make it?
My wife made it.
Wow.
I
She must
do
Like
have
I
share us
said,
the
she
recipe.
makes a lot of amazing meals, and
Wow.
she's become like the plant-based cook as far as I'm concerned.
Wow. Wow. So
I do have a few ghost peppers in the kitchen if you want.
uh, I mean, if you don't mind share the recipe, we would love to try something new. So, well, that sounds
Okay.
like a fantastic lunch. What other,
Yeah.
what is the other go-to option for you?
Um,
Oh, look, I
I do
see.
I do a lot of soups and stews and things like that.
Mhm.
And I'm finding that like a soup and a stew, I'll make a big bowl of kale, boil a bunch of kale and
Mhm.
drop that in this, I'll put a bed of kale down, or I tend with my soups, I put a bed of quinoa in the bowl
Mhm.
and then a
Mhm.
bed of kale on top of that, and then I
Mhm.
pour the soup over it and I eat
Mhm.
the whole thing. And that's a phenomenal lunch.
Wow. Well, then do you still have a room for supper?
I do.
Okay, so what's your supper look like?
Um, oh, let's see if I can find the one I wrote to you.
You ate the kale and stew and quinoa.
Uh,
That is pretty much the whole grain.
I bet you
Yeah,
have no
absolutely.
problem eating 30 different plant foods
I
a
know.
week.
Yeah, we were talking about to have a good GI, have a good gut health, you need to hit at least a 30 different type of a plant-based food.
Right.
How about nuts and seeds? What are your choices? Do
Nuts and seeds, I like walnuts. The seeds are like chia seeds and flax seeds for their omega 3s.
right, right.
Flax seeds need to be ground up.
Mm-hmm.
So grind them up really nice and fine and
Yeah.
dump them in your breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and of course, I got walnuts and the chia seeds and flax seeds are in the in my breakfast.
Mm-hmm. Wow, excellent. Yeah. So with with this is like you are the A+ student. If we're talking about the advice from well-known research dietitian Brenda Davis or any physicians that you're kind of going by what they recommend, and you can even, I believe you probably brag about your meals all the time with people.
I do definitely do with my plant-based friends because they're
Yeah.
like they know that Sue makes really good meals because I always come to potlucks
Mm-hmm.
bringing wonderful meals for people.
Oh, yeah, you better let us know when is the next time so we can try her food.
Okay.
So well, so I think from what you do on a daily basis, um, whether it's a nutrition or the movement, um, and then that tell us that you actually proven result and a good model for striving for healthy living.
Mhm.
So the so um what would you say that when you wake up in the morning, what excites you? I think that's one, the passion is one of the six house
Right.
pillars. So what really excites you? That why you
Getting up and getting moving, it's like get up, do something. I try to think of, well, I don't sleep very well in the sense that I've found that when I was in graduate school, I trained my mind to work 24 hours a day.
Mm,
So when I go to sleep, I think about whatever challenge or problem I'm having, and I think about that and try to solve it. Um, which kind of wreaks havoc on my sleep, but
mhm,
uh, I'm constantly just trying to do things and trying to improve myself and improve the world, really.
yeah, improve the world. Wow. Yeah. Well, um, I know that I asked you a lot of questions. Dr. J, do you have a question?
So when you try to improve the world, what are your hopes for the future of lifestyle medicine and plant-based nutrition in the mainstream healthcare?
Mm, that's good.
What is my view on that?
From a
Well,
patient, it's more like, I wish, I wish the medicine can be this way.
right. Yeah, that's exactly what it is I wish that the doctors and stuff would start
Mm,
looking for primary cause of disease and not
mhm.
looking at medicines to treat symptoms.
Mm.
Okay, that's a very good one. Very good one. Yes. Yeah.
So if someone is listening to our podcast and who is newly diagnosed with MS or any chronic disease, what message would you give them?
Please start a whole food plant-based diet. That your health will improve. Period.
Mm.
Wow. Period.
Yeah. I mean that's what I know. That's what I know. That's what I've seen, and that's what I've heard all the doc. I mean, like you
Mm.
said, May, it's like Brenda Davis talked about it. All the doctors talk about it, and I follow exactly what they do.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we talk about that, when you first diagnosed with MS and you decided to go on a plant-based nutrition, what was your expectation? What was a healing like you you expect?
I had no idea what to expect. I was like, I read the China study and heard that whole food plant-based diet could reverse what I consider the standard American diseases. He lists a whole bunch of them there. And I thought, hey, I want to see what'll happen to my MS when I do this.
Oh, okay. So reading that book also is kind of your inspiration that
Mhm.
you have the knowledge to base on.
Right.
That makes
And then
sense.
yeah. And then I've wound up over the years, I've been like thinking, am I doing this wrong? So then
Mm,
I've read as many books on whole food
mm,
plant-based nutrition as I can
mm,
find.
mm-hmm,
I've read Neil Barnard, I've read
mm-hmm.
Michael Greger,
Michael Greger, yes.
uh, Esselstyn's. I've gone through like I've read over 20 books on whole food plant-based nutrition, and I'm still reading them because I
Mm-hmm,
want to know as much about it as I possibly can
mm-hmm.
and want to
Yes.
help influence the world and help people learn that you don't have to suffer chronic disease.
Mm-hmm,
Mm.
You can completely manage it by eating the right foods.
Mm.
yeah.
How about the documentary Code Blue by Dr.
Yes,
Stancic, who
yes,
documented?
I love the work that she's done. It's like I heard about her and was like, I need to follow her because she's on the same diet I'm on, and she managed to reverse her multiple sclerosis and
Mm.
manages it with a whole food plant-based diet as well. And I think that's amazing. And, you know, I want to model myself after anybody that's had improvements in any disease.
Mm.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, something fun, and before we close it, you attended our 2025 Community Wellness Symposium and Gala. And that was our first time we move up to the big venue.
Hmm.
Can you share with us what you see, and should people come to that event for next year?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Everybody should come to that event. You guys have set up the most amazing production there. I mean, I see it and it truly is a production. It's like you have all these speakers come in and talk about how to reverse diseases. And I love the speakers that you are able to pull in.
Yeah.
And I love the talks that they have. And I love meeting all those people and talking with them. And I love helping at the symposium every year.
How about
Yeah.
the food?
Oh, and the food. Oh my gosh. Last year, wow. Last year was amazing.
I think we
Okay.
overheard some attendees saying that we must have found someone from our state or somewhere because there's no way a chef in Rochester could make those type of food. So I thought it was a compliment. But our 2026 keynote speaker is the president of the American Medical Association. So he is the first lifestyle medicine board certified physician to lead AMA. So besides the speaker, besides the food, you can also come here to see how Craig helped me fly onto the stage.
Okay, deal. Peter Pan. Okay,
So,
Craig, it's a pleasure to have you right
Yep,
here. Yeah.
so
pleasure to be here.
how people can contact you if they have question about MS or any disease management, or they want to support you in the community activities? How can they get a hold of you?
Um, yeah, I guess I can leave you my phone number or whatever. That's probably the best way. They could probably get a hold of me on Facebook. That's another way.
Sure.
Okay. Or does the Building Healthy Community has the specific email address that they can send a request in? And you guys can, normally share the message
They
among the
might. I
team.
don't know about that, but
Okay.
they might.
Yeah. Well, just send. We will add those link to this episode so people get
Okay.
to get a hold of you, especially your recipe for your favorite breakfast and soup recipe.
All right,
Okay.
okay.
Absolutely.
Well,
Well, thank you for joining us here in Step to
Okay.
Wellness. I'm Dr. J.
I'm May.
All right. Thank you, May and Dr. J. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, you. And then
All right.
one step
At
and
a
one
bye
bite at a
at a
time.
time.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.